Hello and welcome to The Grid on Sports Tonight Live on this Wednesday, Super Wednesday, the 7th of March. This is the show that lives life in the fast lane, whether it's at the racetrack, at the supermarket or at the post office. Cashier number one, please, is Kevin Shepherd, comedian and Formula One podcaster. Hello.
Hello.
And unexpected item in the bagging area, we have Tancredi Palmieri. How are you?
Buonasera. Everything is nice, but you didn't pay the bread and the cash. So sorry, I saw you. You were stealing something. I saw you.
No, I did. I put it through myself.
It's amazing.
So welcome. On today's show, we'll be talking about rallying, touring cars, a multitude of things. But I suppose because we have an Italian in the studio, the big thing we have to talk about is Formula One. And the front page of Motorsport News today is Ferrari in crisis.
Yeah, I arrived a bit in late because I was having a ride just on the late F2012 Ferrari. Going so slow, guys. There is a method there. Really.
So how does it feel for you as a Formula One journalist, a fan, and an Italian? Is it a bad start to the year?
Well, let's say that in some way there is a bit to wait, but the thing that already 3 weeks before, because I'm talking about, of course, the declaration that there were some weeks before. Also, Gazzetta dello Sport is supporting so much all the time Ferrari and Formula One, and the other medias that are always so awful, so optimistic. Already we're talking about something that was going wrong, means that really there is something to worry. Let me tell you, this is the Gazzetta of today.
It's a pink newspaper.
It's the pink newspaper.
In this country, that means the Financial Times.
Yes. Montezemolo, Ferrari scarsa, io non ci credo, ma se fosse vero. And stop with Italian. Okay, so this is the interview. Is Montezemolo. It was in Geneva for the for the exhibition of cars, and because they are presenting new models of Ferrari. But of course, he has to speak about F2012 and everything. And well, Montezemolo is the most awful person that you can imagine. I'm serious. When Ferrari was going completely bad, I don't want to say other words. He seemed like to be a priest, not the owner of like saying, "No, don't worry, have hope in future and everything." Also, when was the Fisichella moment, absolutely terrible. This time, Montezemolo is always so optimistic. He said, "I don't believe Ferrari being weak, but if will be true, they will have to give me an explanation, and they will tell me in how many seconds they can fix it."
Wow.
Seconds. I mean, when you have an owner that is so powerful and is telling you to fix that, you have to just few seconds to do that, means that he's gonna be very angry. And that's because also Alonso, that is one, it's like he's doing prediction. I don't know if you remember him speaking about the race, before the race, when he was in Benetton, then in McLaren, Ferrari. I can't remember anyone else saying, I think this time we can get the top, I think this time we can get the 5th place, and always getting the prediction. And when Alonso went out saying, I don't think, we can't write off all decision, but he said, for the first 3 races, we probably will be far from the top. That was the alarm, because that means that seriously there is something to be worried about.
And if Alonso says that, because I know how much you love Alonso, Kev.
I love Alonso. He's my favourite man.
Irony alert.
I don't want to feel bad because obviously you're Italian, but do you realise that everybody outside Italy at this moment is rejoicing and going, Ferrari, he's messed up. Alonso, he's messed up.
But it's not just Ferrari, is it? I mean, of course, with Trulli losing his seat, that means there's no Italian driver in the starting lineup since when?
1970. 42 years without that, yes. And actually, probably Italian drivers are the real root of all the Formula One racing since the first 3 World Championships that were won by Ascari and Farina. But the thing is that since Montezemolo took over, actually there is one thing that is connected with Ferrari, but in the opposite way that you could think about. Because since Montezemolo took over, since Todd took over Ferrari, but we know the connection with Montezemolo is like this, they decided always that there was too much pressure on an Italian driver to be on Ferrari. They were in, if I'm not mistaken, back in '93, Ivan Capelli, that had a tragic season. He probably, I don't remember, he maybe had 1 or 2 points, something like that. It was absolutely, I wouldn't not even get here in the studio if I would drive with that Ferrari now. And since then they said too much pressure over an Italian. No more Italians on Ferrari. and there was anyway a lot of pressure on them because they said, come on, we have this Fisichella doing so good, Trulli doing so good. They are winning races with minors, cars. You can make it. So after, 15 years, they decide, okay, let's take an Italian finally, when everything was going wrong, and they went to Fisichella. The thing was that Fisichella stopped to drive just 1 year before, something like that.
Yeah.
We saw with Schumacher, that is not easy to come back, say, okay, I'll take the car. So imagine Fisichella. So that is the reason. They have a fantastic Ferrari Academy for drivers, but they just break the connection when there is the moment to jump from the Academy to Ferrari. And there is a news, it's Luca Filippi.
Yeah, Filippi, who's a very talented racer.
Very talented, just 26, so everyone is
Just
young.
26,
I was
that's
gonna say,
relatively
he gets to
old.
get a move on.
I know, but I mean, yeah, relatively old, but this tell you that they should have taken before. Relatively old because now we are in use with Hamilton, Vettel. I mean, they born and you just throw him on the car.
I love the way that you say Hamilton with such disdain. It's like Hamilton.
No, but I mean, they are young, really. They probably... they probably first drive a car and then not about the other sex. I mean, you know what I mean, no? They are more experienced in cars than with girls, you know what I mean? So 26, of course, is old, yeah.
So you think Filippi, who's racing IndyCar?
Yeah, just news of today, he's going in IndyCar, actually in the David Letterman team, so it's something under the
So
spotlight.
him and Barrichello at two ends of the spectrum.
Mamma mia. Father and son, yeah.
Okay, one thing, I think that the news was delivered by Ferrari because I'm doing it late, so I apologise for that. At the beginning of every show, we normally do Up to Speed, which I clean forgot, but that was because I was bamboozled by Tancredi, which is good. Some news then today. First up, we found out that Jaime Alguersuari, hot from not being in the Toro Rosso team anymore, is going to be the Formula One commentator on BBC 5 Live, and also Spock in the new Star Trek film. No, that's Zachary Quinto. Let's actually get Jaime Alguersuari. There we go. Very similar. They look very similar.
And they're not the same.
You look
Okay.
slightly boss-eyed in that picture.
And what do you think about Jaime joining the BBC Formula One team?
I think it's the last insult to the people that can't afford to watch F1 on the telly. You've got James Allen and Jaime Alguersuari. I mean, Jamie and Jaime kissing in a tree, B-O-R-I-N-G. I mean, come on, sort it out.
Did they just go for people with the same initials, I do wonder. Also, drivers normally leave it a good 3 or 4 years before they go to commentating.
Yeah, but he was rarely a driver, was he, really?
But you know, BBC is always having success with the Spanish-speaking English, like Manuel in 40 Towers.
Also, in
I shouldn't say that, I'm Italian, so I should.
You're allowed, it's fine. A second item on the news is that great news from Nissan, that they're going to be building, Nissan will be building a new car in Sunderland. It won't be like that, it won't be an LMP1.
Guys, when you took the photo of my car? Hey, I didn't allow it. I'm sorry, I didn't allow it.
Which one's yours? Oh, the red one at the back. Yeah.
It's the one beside the bicycle.
So that this news will bring 125 million investment to the northeast and 2,000 jobs. So well done, Nissan. Although the car is going to be called the Invitation. Now I've already got thousands of those on Facebook, and I ignore them.
There is also a girl inside the car, because I understand the word of invitation if it is like that.
So very Italian. And finally, on Up to Speed, as we speak, Kimi Räikkönen should be doing his lap at Dunsfold for
She'll
Top
be in the
Gear.
pub
Well,
as we speak.
probably, yes,
So
right?
that's
Yeah,
3 hours.
probably.
That Kimi Räikkönen.
So we think that'll probably be a wet lap because it's pouring.
Be a
with
wet
rain.
lap. I think he's the only man that's going to make the Stig look jolly.
I wonder if
he's
he's
in that picture, but without a visor.
That's just loads of ice cream behind him.
But
Yeah,
the guy is hot this year, huh?
yeah, I think he's got a chance.
And it's not easy to have a comeback like that. You come and you are so comfortable with all the tests like that. I mean, it was not something to be expected, because when he left Ferrari, one of the reasons was that you know, he said about Raikkonen that he's winning, but he's destroying the cars, you know? It's like he's bringing in some way, and then bringing that you can just throw away, because he's really taking all the track that he can. But also, people were complaining because, you know, there was Schumacher, and then there was him. And Schumacher is like, it's like Valentino Rossi, it's like, you take the whole parcel with Schumacher. He's making upgrade all the car, helping engineers, helping technology, everything. And with Raikkonen, they felt, basically, Ferrari felt lost.
Turns
Ferrari
up,
team,
drives,
yeah.
goes home.
Yeah, because they said, okay, but come on, you are driving good, but tell us something more.
Yeah.
So coming back and being so fast, so comfortable. So even in that cold ice, and there is a lot of cold ice there, maybe there is some small fire of revenge.
I think there's a lot of fire, and he'll come back with his rallying chops behind him. Now, very close to where you live in Italy, there's a very famous racetrack called Monza.
Yeah.
And I'll be there this weekend, and so will the
I
World
booked already the restaurant. So.
Okay, good, thank you. World Touring Car Championship will be there, and commentating on that will be our friend Martin Haven. Hello, Martin.
Wow.
Good afternoon, boys.
Good afternoon.
So, Martin, when do you set off for Monza? Pretty soon, I would guess.
Just after I kiss goodbye to any chance of having any Formula One involvement with this show, you correspondent clearly stealing everybody's thunder.
No, but it's great though, Martin, because Tancredi will be there this weekend, and he's invited us out for a glass of wine. So,
Excellent. Well, I know some. I've been to Monza many times. Know some good restaurants, and it's nice and quiet this time of year. So. That sounds perfect. Pizza and a glass of wine. Oh, hang on, no, too far north, not allowed pizza.
So, Martin, it's great that the World Touring Car Championship starts this weekend. I can't even say it properly.
Exactly, WTCC. Even that's hard to say.
It's starting at Monza, a beautiful racetrack, so much history. Tell us what we can expect.
So much ice.
What can we expect this weekend? Is it going to sort of start all guns blazing?
God, I hope the weather's good. I mean, have you looked outside the window today? It's just vile in the UK. So, I mean, that's the first question. What is the weather going to do? Habitually, when we go to Monza, you get nice, cold, misty mornings either end of the year. And that's a great time to go because you just feel the little prickle in the air of all the ghosts and all the famous drivers. And it's haunted by magic, Monza, and by tragedy as well. But in terms of the World Championship, I guess no matter what the weather does, we're going to see that Chevrolet will probably take off where they left off. They're very much in a Red Bull situation. Not much has happened to the rules to radically change the cars. So therefore, last year's best car probably is going to be this year's best car. So it's going to be Muller versus Huff, seconds out, round one. And we'll wait and see who else gets involved.
Of course, new manufacturers, Ford, will they be strong, or are they more on a kind of a 3-year plan?
Well, you have to be on the 3-year plan. I mean, this is what Chevrolet said when they came in, and it took them 5 years to win the championship. But you've got to be committed. I mean, you know from World Rally Championship experience, if somebody comes in and wants to be fast in 1 year, they leave in 2 because it's not realistic. In the same way that if you and I wanted to do the London Marathon, we wouldn't go, when is it? May? What's it now? April? Yeah, let's enter. Look, we'll do it. How hard can it be? Well, the answer obviously is, yeah, quite hard, which is why people who do it a lot are very good at it. So, yeah, Ford, I don't think there's any expectation they're going to be champions. They would like definitely to be in a position before the end of the year when they're challenging seriously to get on the podium on a regular basis. And it's going to be very interesting. I mean, there's not been a lot of group testing before the season started. Everybody's done testing, but until you actually are on the grid or in qualifying with cars that you're racing against, it's a little bit hard to judge yourselves. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be very entertaining. I mean, it's a British team, Mike Earle's team, very experienced. They've run in the British Touring Car Championship for many years. I mean, he ran Formula One teams years ago as well. So they've got a good, strong lineup. Their engineering base is pretty solid. Different engine to anything they've used before. New engine from Mountune, but again, there's no flies on those guys, so they understand what it's all about.
Right.
But I would tell you, when Ray Malek was talking to him in their second or maybe third year they were in the Touring Car Championship with Chevrolet, we're talking about when they came in, and he said, oh yeah, everybody we talked to, they said, yeah, about 275, 280 horsepower. He said, they lied. We had that when we arrived. We were nowhere close.
Okay.
So there is a degree of obfuscation from those involved to try and make it look like they're not quite as powerful as they actually are. So
and a first appearance of the word obfuscation on the show. Martin, we're coming towards, hurtling towards the wall of a break now. So I shall see you in Monza at the weekend, and I shall also see you, Tancredi. Grazie.
Grazie a voi. The wine is already open, because you know you have to open a bit of time before.
So ciao to you, ciao to Martin, and ciao to you. Cool your jets. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Welcome back to The Grid on Sports Tonight Live. That's it. Come on, tuck into our slipstream. We'll take you through. This is Super Wednesday, the 7th of March. We've said goodbye to Tancredi, but Kevin's still here.
I'm still here. I'm not quite as Italian, unfortunately. I'd love to be that Italian.
Anyway, everyone would love to be that. Most Italians would love to be that Italian. What can you bring us up to speed with in terms of the weekend just gone before we look forward?
A bit of NASCAR. I didn't watch it. I didn't once bitten, twice shy. But I did read about it. I read that Denny Hamlin won, and he led the race for 59 laps, so it sounds pretty dull. Yeah. But I did also read that Kalowski, you remember him from Twitter fame?
Yep.
Was, I quote, forced to drop back after getting loose. I'm not sure if that's a euphemism for inappropriate social networking or diarrhea, whatever that means. I'm not sure. But I did. Can we see the wig? Can we see the wig guy? When I watched it,
what's the wig guy?
There's a guy on Fox. Look at this! Look at this man's hair. This is a Fox News presenter. Presenter, and I'm baffled by his hair.
What's his name? Wiggy Wigman.
Wiggy Wigman. I call him Wigman. I can't remember. No, it's Michael Waltrip. But I don't know if that is a wig or not. I spent 6 hours looking at his head, just going, is that a wig or just really bad hair?
Or just a pie on his head.
I don't know what it
National
is.
Pie Week, after all. Okay, good. And there is NASCAR again this weekend. Of course, if you know more about NASCAR than either of us, which isn't difficult, and you want to correspond, please do get in touch. Get in touch with us on Twitter. We should, by the end of this week, have a Facebook page as well, which I know, so 21st century. So get in touch. We do want you to contribute via Skype. If you're part of a motorsport forum or a team, then get in touch. We will have you on our Skype wall. Talking of having you on our Skype wall, we should be able to bring up Rebecca Williams, who is coming to us live from Mexico.
Really?
Bexy Wexy, are you there?
In Mexico?
Yes,
hello. Now, I recognise in the background that is, wow, Polyform. That's the Polyforum.
Oh, my goodness.
Which it's the base of the WRC Rally Mexico in Mexico. So Bexy, how's it going there?
It's going really well so far, apart from obviously the noise levels. Basically, service is inside in Mexico. We're in the big Poliforum Center, and Citroën are right behind me. So that is the DS3 of Nasser Al-Attiyah that you can hear. But things are going well so far.
It's unusual. It's unusual for Citroën to be behind anyone. So well done for being for being in front of Citroën. So
I'm always ahead.
Bexy, it's round 3 of the World Rally Championship this year. It's in Mexico, so it's the first proper gravel rally of the year. And you do get the feeling that this time it could be very open. I've got a feeling that Petter could have a really good chance in his Ford.
I think we've got just a view for it being incredibly open. We've got the new qualifying rules here, of course, which means that road position is not going to be an issue now for the front runners. I mean, Sebastian Loeb has won this, 5 times from being first on the road. So he knows exactly what he's doing. But I think you're right. I think the Fords could be in with a good chance this weekend. They've had a fantastic test. 500 kilometers of testing they've done in conditions incredibly similar to what we have here in Mexico. They were in southern Spain, not far away from Malaga. Jari Matti said the test was ideal. Petter is really fired up, but Petter's role within the Ford team now, Neil, is very much second to Jari Matti. The focus is to get Jari Matti as far up as they possibly can in terms of the Drivers' Championship. But saying that, if anything does happen to Jari Matti this weekend, Petter has won here in the past. He knows what it takes to win in Mexico, and my goodness, I spoke to him yesterday, and his passion for rallying, he said there's even more now than it was when he started. If that's possible. We know that he is the most passionate man.
Petter's an inspiration anyway, but he is so desperate for his first win since 2005. He's won in a Subaru in Mexico, and if they have improved, I mean, like the issues with the Fords historically is that they suffered at altitude compared to the Citroëns. Do you think they've dealt with that? Do you think it's gone?
Well, the proof's going to be in the pudding, really, isn't it? You know, there's always a lot of talk before the rally that, yes, they're confident. But
brilliant. Look at that. I've got goosebumps.
Who's that?
Excuse you.
That's loud. That's giving you a real flavour of what it sounds like here.
That sounded like a new Super 1600 World Rally car. And Bex, another question. Now that Mikko is in a Citroën, we know that Sebastian has won this event time and time again in that Citroën.
Excuse me.
It's a great noise. Do you think Mikko's got a chance this time round?
I think he has. He's incredibly relaxed and confident before the event. They were training on Monday with Leon Football Club.
Right.
They really put them through their paces as well. So Mikko and Jarmo batted it out on the football field. But they're quite relaxed. They're part of the new Citroen team this year. He's really loving the car. I think he's got a good chance to show what he can do. We know what he can do on gravel. We've seen it. It's going to be difficult up against Sebastian Loeb. It always is going to be. And I think Mikko's role within the team has been well established, but I think he's going to give it a shot. It's going to be very interesting, Neil, the whole weekend. I mean, we're looking at, you talk about Mikko there, but we've got the likes of Chris Atkinson coming back to the WRC.
I know, Aussie Chris.
Exciting.
That's very exciting.
So, he hasn't had a lot of top-level rally action. He's been, rallying. We've seen him in the Asia-Pacific Championship. So he's still got what it takes, certainly, but we haven't seen him in the WRC for many years. He is so stoked to see the rally team to be here. I'm really hoping we're going to see something good from him this weekend. I think it might, take him the Friday to really get back into things and to get the knowledge of the car. But I'm excited to see what he can do this weekend. I really am. I'm just fingers crossed we're going to see him in some rallies for the rest of the season because he's such a talent.
He is superb. Now, finally, Bex, my memories of Rally Mexico. It's always hot, always sunny, very rarely rains. Is that the conditions we're looking at? A dusty gravel rally with some cobbled sections. Is that what it's like this year again? Hot and dusty?
It is hot here. It's very hot. Let me tell you, it was 34 degrees yesterday. And you just walk, a couple of 100 meters and you are just a sweat bucket. I have no idea what it's going to be like in those cars. The guys dealing with the heat, the altitude. Mexico is just throwing everything at them this weekend. But at the end of it all, Neil, they get to sink some tequila, so it's not all bad.
And so do you. Bexy, thank you very much, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up with you again on another World Rally event. That's Rebecca Williams, everybody.
Williams.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad you told me that. I thought when we asked Andrew Coley to change the set, I thought we'd gone the whole hog and changed sex as well. I thought,
but that is, great to hear that noise, and hopefully we'll get more of that during the course of this series to actually get people who are live at an event.
Yeah, because we can't watch racing because it's too expensive. We'll just get the sounds.
But as someone who's always been a Formula One fan, are you a fan or just someone who has to like it?
Cynic. I'm a Formula One cynic. That's what I am. Yeah. What was your question?
How does rallying appeal? Because of course, quite a few drivers have crossed over.
They crossed over.
I
said before, I think it's really brave, and I don't get a chance to watch it on the telly as much as I'd like.
Yeah, you and everyone else.
Yeah, it turns out. But you said that might be coming to a head.
Yeah, well, I read a couple of days ago that the European Broadcasting Union are doing a deal with the FIA, which means that it could very well be that soon there's an announcement. There'll be a global promoter. They'll be able to sell it. One person governing television for the WRC, just like it should be.
So it'll be on ITV4.
Yeah, ITV4 is a possibility because there was apparently a deal in place to have a Sunday slot for the WRC highlights on ITV4, and if that happens, then I think the viewership and the fan will grow and grow.
A lot of people after a petrol head fix, and they're going to get it on a Sunday.
And it is an amazing event in Mexico. If you do get a chance, I think it's on Motors TV this weekend in the UK, then please do watch it. It's very spectacular. And I imagine with Chris Atkinson and Ken Block being stoked in monster Ford Fiestas, something's going to happen.
I already get the in-joke with stoked, but I still yet to see it, I think.
Stoked. Now, we're just going to talk about Team 48 Motorsport, and we should, to talk about that, have Luther Blissett on the line. Luther, are you there?
I am, indeed.
Well, first of all, can I just say what an honour for me to speak to a former England international football player. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. You really don't have to be honoured to do that.
And I have
It's probably the other way round.
No, it really isn't. Now, Luther, I have to my left Kev Shepherd, who I believe you met or worked with.
I've met him, just stared at him from afar. You did a gig for Red Card Against Racism in the Town Hall recently, and you auctioned off a track day with yourself.
Right, yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't know that you had a racing car team, so I just thought, why would you want to drive around a track with a footballer? Their record with cars and keeping them on the road isn't too special. I was a bit confused, but now it's all fallen into place beautifully.
And so for those of us that need a bit of education, Luther, explain what the team is and what you're hoping to achieve and where you're going today.
Yeah, well, the whole idea behind the team is to ultimately get a team together that will to go and take part in the Le Mans 24-hour race. That's the thing. We've got John Barnes, Les Ferdinand, myself, a guy called Kevin Haggerty, who's a motoring journalist, and one or two other celebrities are sort of on the periphery of what we're doing. And the idea is to build a team with kids from sort of background that normally wouldn't associate with motorsport, and take them, you know, for them to look after the car and that sort of thing, and go and do the Le Mans 24-hour race.
Superb. Well, I wish you all the very best. It's called Team 48 Motorsport. How can people get involved? Right. Can they help you with funding? Are you on your way to Silverstone now?
Always looking for funding. At the moment, it's been pretty much funded by myself, and you know, we've spoken to one or two people about getting involved, and there seems to be a bit of a there's a bit of interest now being shown by one or two people, which is very good. And so, yes, I can get in touch, get involved by sponsorship, or get involved with just maybe lending a hand doing one. Or, you know, the best thing is getting in touch with me, and then we can discuss and see how people get involved with that. We don't really turn people away, because the whole idea is to build something that's quite accessible to most people that normally wouldn't get the opportunity to do this sort of thing. Well,
good on you, Luther, and thank you very much for joining us briefly on the show. Can we try and keep up with you during the course of the year to see how you're progressing?
For sure, yeah. We have our first race on the 8th of April at Silverstone in the Alfa Romeo Championship, so looking forward to that, and a track day on the 2nd. So
lovely.
Get a bit of practice and get out and race.
Superb. Thank you, Luther. What a pleasure, and all the very best with it. So,
thank you very much.
There we go. Another edition of The Grid has flown by.
It's gone
really quickly. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to join our league on the Castrol Edge Predictor. If you want to go onto our league, then we'll send you a link. Just get in touch with us at STL_The Grid on Twitter. This weekend we've got the WTCC, the WRC, racing at Snetterton, rallying in Epint, and NASCAR in Vegas. But of course, join us for next week's The Grid, because we will be talking about the World Endurance Cars in Sebring, the IRC in the Canaries, and of course the small matter of the Formula One season starting in Australia. Come on!
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
It is exciting. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again next week. This has been Kevin and Neil on The Grid.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.